this discussion is really, really interesting. And I really can't believe how complicated this is. I mean, it just gets more complicated the more you look at it, for me. I mean,
Yeah.
and this discussion is a lot of fun. To me, to emphasize that rhythmic aspect would be important, and I think it'd be hard to have the arrival on the G and then start the syncopation on the next half beat.
Well, you could have your cake and eat it too, because the syncopation really depends on us feeling the downbeat.
Would it not come across more intentionally, more pushing the arrival to make it one long breath until measure 7 when you exhale?
So your goal is to emphasize the arrival.
Yeah.
If that was your true purpose and that was your priority of what you want to express, I would just breathe very kind of under the radar, very shallow and light, and then something like that.
I see.
Yeah. I love that there's multiple options of how you can find your artistic vision. You can fine tune it to make the audience be more aware of either or. Now, let's talk about how we're going to communicate that to an audience. So let's say we wanted to make it simpler and more childlike. Then we would try to think of it in larger chunks.
More helpless, I think, is the way I would think of that.
More helpless, and maybe less of a choral sound, more of a vulnerable voicing. So something more thin, right? And more like focused on the soprano line.
Mm-hmm.
Versus if you're thinking about it as a whole, a whole country of people, or like a whole collective, and everyone is sharing this grief, and it's so vast, a vast grief. You would want something more choral, and you might voice the bass a little bit more to get more heaviness, right? So it's almost suffocating in terms of like you can smother it with pedaling and make it feel like it's really reverberating among a very large amount of people. Well, let's zoom in specifically on your piano interpretation right now, but like, how does all that actually affect the way that you would approach your playing of it? When you play it, what is your energy level, your intensity level? Despair can mean a lot of different things. So are you shooting for something that is very tired? So like 0 to 1 out of 10. So it's kind of like you're almost in disbelief and you're almost numb from the exhaustion, versus the intensity of it where you're biting and you're hurting and you're like in pain. So like those are both in piano, right? But the artistic vision is completely different.